All right, all right. Well, looks like everything is good to go. So, let's just say, good morning, YouTube world! Hey, y'all doing today? I hope everybody is having an incredible morning. It's a beautiful day. It is a beautiful 64 degrees here in eastern New Mexico. So, well, at least east central New Mexico. So, I hope everybody's having a good day so far. I know for some of you, you're just waking up, which is exactly why it's called Coffee at Nodough Acres. So. But that's the way we like to do things, right? Wake up, morning cup of coffee, everything's good, enjoy the day, plan out what we're going to do. I don't know how many of y'all are planners, but I like to plan things out. I like to sit down, say, okay, step 1, 2, 3, this is what I'm going to get accomplished today. So, step 1, plant squash. More squash, I should say. Step 2, yeah, I don't remember where step 2 was going. Because this is when I usually do that. Oh, step 2, clean up my seed mess. The wife is saying it's time to clean up my seed mess. So, and step 3, get some things started in some pots for my summer garden, because there are some things that I like to plant a little bit later so that I have a little bit later harvest. Stuff like peppers. I like to start peppers early and then start peppers again, so I have another batch. And I also like to start my okra, some more okra, so that I get a good extended harvest of okra. Occasionally I will start some extra squash, which I'm going to do today. I'm just going to plant that in ground. I'm not going to plant it in little pots. But Ivy's Forge and Homestead, good morning. But I like to plant those and get that stuff going. I may start a couple more tomatoes. We'll have to wait and see. And I may start some more ground cherries. But those are kind of wait and see items. My lettuce is I usually do on my front porch. We don't eat a lot of lettuce. This year I was going to do a lot more, but didn't quite work out that way. Good morning, Emma. How are you this morning? I was going to plant a lot more lettuce than I have, and now it has gotten hot early. Monday. Hey, Josh, good morning. Or good evening for you. I got some stuff started, and it's gotten hot really early. We had 3 days in a row that it was over 95. So anyway, the lettuce doesn't fare well in the heat, so I decided to forego planting the lettuce until it started to cool down again. So, Pathways Homestead, good morning. Hello from eastern New Mexico. But I do like to start some other stuff specifically for the heat. I have to start my Malabar spinach as well. So last year my Malabar spinach did fantastic. We ate a bunch of it. We enjoyed it. So, oh, absolutely, got to have your coffee. And so we really enjoyed that. So that's the plan for today. So get some more stuff planted. So hopefully everything goes according to plans. Of course, you know, I mean, everything being what it is right now, not a lot's going to plan, is it? started my garden 3 weeks later than I wanted to, and which is probably why I don't have any lettuce. I could have started it. I'm not going to make excuses. I could have started it. Yes, the Malabar spinach made it all the way through the summer and into fall. No problems, Emma. It was fantastic. That red Malabar spinach actually likes the heat. So, and it did really well. So, Lazy Pond Farm, good morning. But, yeah, I could have started all that stuff if I wanted to just start in ground without the weed cover. But I tilled up my backyard. I live in town, and so I tilled up my backyard, and we have a lot of Bermuda grass and a lot of we call them goat heads. I think it's just a version of star thistle, which is invasive, but they're miserable. They get stuck in everything, especially your feet. And so Lego's got nothing on goat heads, but they will dig into your feet. And but anyway, I had just tilled up a good chunk of the backyard, and I didn't want all that stuff popping back up through, so I wanted to put down the weed barrier cloth. And if I had just done it otherwise, I would have been in a never-ending battle of fighting the weeds. So I decided not to do it. Yours is still growing as well, Josh. Outstanding. Yeah, I really enjoyed it last year. I planted, I think I planted 10 plants. My trellis was only about 8 feet long, and it was sharing it with the purple hull peas. So, but it did just fine. I mean, it didn't have any problems whatsoever. Made it all the way through the 100-degree heat and everything else. So, which was fantastic. So, I know for Josh that would be in the 40s, right, Josh? The 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So, but it was quite hot, and the Malabar spinach did fantastic. So I am going to plant more. Oh, I also have to get my my Kajari melon started. So I've got one more piece of cattle panel to use as a trellis. I'm debating still whether I'm going to do an arch trellis or whether I'm going to do a straight trellis like I have been doing. But I'm not sure yet. My wife being silly, making me laugh. So I'm thinking about cool. Yes, loves the heat in the 40s. Exactly. But having raised beds really helps keep planting on schedule. Oh yeah, definitely. I agree 100%, Emma. But as I had said before, I wasn't going to do a bunch of raised beds because I live in town and I'm renting the house that I'm in. And so I didn't want to do raised beds because I didn't want to spend all that money on soil just to have to tear them down. So if we buy a house here in the near future, then I will definitely put in raised beds. I might even put in tall raised beds. So a lot of people, their raised beds are only, a foot tall. I'm thinking about going 3 feet just to save on my back. So, maybe do a little hugu culture for those, put a bunch of wood and stuff like that down in the bottom and let it decompose and feed the beds. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. I think once we get a home, after I retire, I'm definitely doing raised beds, and they are definitely going to be tall. So, but as for right now, we'll just kind of wait and see. So, Overworked Gardener, good morning. How are you this morning? But there are definitely advantages to having raised beds. Natalie at Hey It's a Good Life, I love her raised beds, and hers were built the same reason, out of necessity, to a back injury. So, and I would hate to not garden because of that. So that's exactly what I'll be doing. But while I still can, I'm taking advantage of the in-ground. Your raised beds are a foot high. Market self-sufficient. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, 28 inches. Yeah. See, and that's kind of the standard is anywhere from a foot to 2 feet. But good morning, Rachel. How are you this morning? But I do have a very bad lower back from the military, as well as bad shoulders. So for me, I'm trying to avoid the bending over as much as possible. I mean, when I do my in-ground garden, the one benefit about having the weed cloth down is I get down on my hands and knees and just crawl. It's a whole lot easier and a whole lot less stress on my back. So less stress on the back is good. Pathways, I agree. I love my in-ground garden, and there are some things that I won't grow in raised beds that I will only grow in-ground. My corn is one of them. I won't even attempt those in a raised bed. It grows great in the ground here. So, good morning, Lisa Lee. How are you this morning? So, those are a few things that I will still end up with a little bit of an in-ground. But I do want to switch to mostly raised beds. And my garden will probably end up looking something like Jess's at Roots and Refuge. You know, I'll have great big long beds and, you know, a quarter of an acre of garden space in my raised beds. So that's just it's just kind of the way I would like to go. Eventually, only taller, but only taller. So, Enriched Refuge, good morning. North Central Washington. All right. Outstanding. The PNW in the house. For those of you that don't know, the Pacific Northwest. So, a lot of foot-high beds, planning on building a lot taller. Exactly. Yeah, see, Josh said the same thing. He likes his corn in the ground, too. You know, not that it probably wouldn't do okay in a raised bed, but corn is the way it feeds just seems to me it always does better in ground. So Emma does hers in ground as well over at Sunny's place. Yeah, and that's the other thing that it takes a lot of space. So if you're wondering why I keep itching my back, it's because I gave myself a haircut this morning. So I got a little hair on my shoulders. And I knew I should have taken a shower before, but oh well. Maybe I'll take one after this and then go outside. Pathways, 15,000 square feet of garden. Yeah, exactly. See, I mean, I've got where I'm at right now here in this rental. I have about 1,100 square feet, maybe 1,150. That's not counting my my raised beds that aren't in my garden, and it's not counting my tomato run. My tomato run is basically exactly a foot long and 50 or a foot wide and probably 45, maybe 50 feet long. So, yep, got the high and tight going. So, you know, you can be out of the military for a long time, and the hair still never really goes away. You get used to it. So, but at one time when I was a kid, I had very long hair. When I was, I don't know, I guess I was about 16, 17, I had hair clear down to my waist. But you know, that was the very early 80s. So, and I think most kids in the 80s had long hair. So, but anyway, installing Enriched Refuge says they're installing drip tape. You know, I wanted to do drip tape this year, and I had plans to do drip tape, but it kind of fell through with everything that went on. The companies that I had orders placed in went out due to the thing, and so none of their shipping happened. So they ended up canceling a lot of orders. That's basically, oops, sorry about that. That's basically why my garden got started 3 weeks late, because I didn't get my weed barrier. So because of the thing, and my order got canceled, but they waited 3 weeks to cancel it. So, and here I was, it showed shipping. So here I was waiting on it, but it wasn't shipped. Most of it's strawberry patch. Oh, Emma. There you go. 100 by 60. There you go. That's nice. That's nice. 3 raised beds in the backyard. I have I took some Ivy Sforge said, I don't keep my hair Navy standard, but it's shorter. Yeah, the beard is definitely not military standard. Some of you saw me this winter. I have my full Santa Claus beard going on. But yeah, my garden is definitely not that large. It's only 28 by 40. But again, the weed barrier makes a huge difference. So I was looking forward to doing the drip tape this year, but because I got the garden in so late and they canceled my drip tape, I didn't feel like reordering it and waiting, so I just went ahead and did it. And so I'll just water conventional for right now. I do have to water a little bit different than if I had the drip tape. I have to water heavy. The nice part about it is I have to water heavy just so it soaks down through the weed barrier cloth, but I don't have to water as often. So if I water heavy, I can go a couple of days. I mean, I go out and I squirt it a little bit in the morning just to give it that little boost, but I mean, I'm out in the garden 5 minutes in the morning and then I'm on my way to work. So, but when I put the sprinklers on, I put them on for a good long time and let it soak in. So. Sure you can. You can be a mountain man without a long beard. You don't have to have a long beard. I mean, I was born and raised in the mountains. So so I keep mine. I keep it this way partly because it's all white and partly because I look like Santa Claus. My beard and mustache were the first things to go gray on me. So, I tend to keep it a little shorter, just because of that. Also, my beard does make me look older, And I don't need people to mistake me for being grandpa to my 6-year-old. And if I just have the goatee, then they don't do that. So no beard here, huh? Yeah. Rocking the Pocahontas look. There you go. Ivy's Forge says we used to use peat moss in our raised bed to help with water retention. I use. I really like the Pro Mix. Last year, I made my own version of Pro Mix. I do believe that the Pro Mix that I used to get compared to the Pro Mix that we get now, they're slipping, without a doubt. There is more larger material than there used to be. There's some, not that that's a bad thing for your garden or your raised bed, but if you're just using it for small amounts, then, especially if you're trying to just plant, in pots and stuff, you don't want all that big stuff. But potting soil has gotten so expensive and it's not very good. So, but, to each their own, I guess, right? Josh says he's got his winter coat happening too. Yep. I grow it out for the winter, and that's about it. So I cut it off once it starts getting warm. So at least down to this. But I almost don't know what it would be like without it. I've had it for so long. I can literally count the number of times I've shaved my mustache since I was about 14 or 15. 3. Of course, when I went through basic training, I had to keep it shaved, but that's one of the times. So unfortunately, it lasted for about 8 weeks, but after that, I started growing it back out again, and then I cut it. I've cut it twice since then, and I don't like it. So I like having my mustache at least. Yeah, it does. It gets pricey buying the soil. What I'm looking at is I've got. Sorry, Emma just said she feels like busting out colors in the wind on a windy day when she's filming. Pocahontas reference. Full-time dream. Good morning. How are you this morning? But yeah, that soil does get expensive for the raised beds. I found a couple of places around here that have good composted soil that will bring in a dump truck load for me if I want it, which would be nice. So, just retired in 2019. Oh yeah. See, you're in the just came onto retirement phase, so I know exactly how you feel. And thank you for your service, by the way. I spent 22 years in the Air Force, so but I retired 10 years before you. So. But yeah, I did the same thing. I went the first year after I retired. I grew my hair shoulder length. I had a full beard, and we laugh. Let's see if I can. I got a picture. I don't know if it'll show up on screen here, especially since it's on an ID. Let's see. There you go. That was my first year out of the military. So, so if y'all get a good look at that. So that was my very first year out of the military. And ever since then, it's been kind of like this. So I got to a point where taking 10 minutes to wash my hair, or, anything longer than running the bar of soap across it and scrubbing it a little bit was too long. So, but got your, oh, nice. Then added topsoil and compost. Very nice. I know, it's crazy, wasn't it, Emma? I had long hair for a little while. It lasted, I don't know, it lasted about a year, I guess. A little over a year. I retired in August of, the end of August of 2009. And I think I had that hair until, oh no, I had it longer than that. I had it until about March or April of 11. So, oh, I know how long it takes you to wash yours, Emma. Like I said, I had long hair. I had hair down to my waist when I was a kid, and I'm 6'6", so that's a bunch of hair. And I was the envy of most of the girls in school because I washed my hair, ran a comb through it, and came to school. I didn't do anything else. I had beautiful, long, wavy hair. So, but it takes too much time to take care of. So I'll stick with the short. I mean, I can run a wash rag across this, and it's done. But yeah, back to the soil. It's awesome to be able to get that, get your soil for a good price, especially if you can get somebody to bring it in bulk. And like I said, there's a place. Well, I mean, they're a couple hours from me, but he said I can come over there and pick it up by the pickup load, or they can come over with a dump truck when they're coming this way. If I have them bring a load to me specifically, I have to pay the shipping. Whereas if they're coming over with a truckload, actually they usually come with a big rig that has a pony trailer on it. And sometimes people will only order, like say 10 yards, and their truck will actually hold like 22. So if somebody orders 10 yards and I want 10 yards, then I'll save a bunch on the shipping. So, but that's it. Brush it and done. You got it. But, where I'm at now, I didn't want to spend the money. It's not mine, so I'm not doing the work for somebody else. And besides that, my in-ground garden, when I'm done with it, I can rake it all out, reseed it, and it's lawn again. So matter of fact, it'll be better than when I left it because the soil will be healthier. So it won't just all be hard packed clay, because I put about 100 pounds of gypsum in my garden this year to help soften up the soil, because I've got typical eastern New Mexico red clay. And I had to get something in it. All the wood chips I got last year, I got 3 pickup loads of wood chips last year. I just tilled all that right in. So I didn't mess around. I tilled every bit of it in. So that'll help. That'll break down and help soften up the soil. So if I'm here another year, next year when I run the tiller through just to break everything back up, I'll just be top tilling really. This year I deep tilled, and if I do it again, I'll just top till just to break everything up, and the soil will be much healthier and starting to look good. So right now it's still red. But with as much other amendments as I'm putting in there, I'm hoping to get it to a nice brown color. Like soil should look, you know. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'm not a... Yeah, actually, Josh, it's about half as much gypsum as I could have used. So, I mean, this soil is hard. And the only way to break it up is to add a lot of gypsum. All the nurseries and stuff like that, and I talked to a master gardener that actually works on base with me, and he said the same thing. He said I should probably add 200 pounds to a garden that size. So, but I went with 100. Yeah, we love red clay, don't we? Yeah. Good old red clay. Let's see, what grows good in it? Goat heads, morning glories, Bermuda grass, and weeds. Amended a little bit, pretty much everything grows in it. That the one nice part about red clay is that it holds moisture once you get it broken up. You know, and once you get it aerated and amended, man, it does fantastic. Lived in North Texas, absolutely. Red clay. Folks live close to Ute Reservoir. Yep. Northeastern New Mexico. Red clay. A lot of red clay out here. So my garden in East Texas was fantastic. It was meadowland at one point. So I mean, I had very good soil. I learned real fast that this was before I got married to my current wife, the best one, the last one. Josh, it's like walking around on concrete. That's what the red clay here is like. It's concrete. So flash floods around here and Arizona and West Texas are just a reality. I mean, if you don't get a slow, steady rain, it runs on top. So it won't soak in. That's why I say once you get it broke in, it does great. But yeah, anyway, I put in 6 Roma tomato plants, and I was so quickly overrun with tomatoes that I was giving them away wholesale. I mean, just as fast as I could give them away. And I still had tons of them. I put up 58 jars of salsa and 36 jars of tomato sauce, 20 jars of just diced tomatoes, and I think that's about it. And still, I was giving away tons. So yeah, I had very good soil, very good tomato plants. So yeah, coastal Virginia, surrounded by swampland. Yeah. And in some ways, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You either get soil that's too hard, or you get soil that's too wet, or holds too much water. You know, I mean, oh yeah. digging post holes for a fence. It's only about 6 inches of good soil, and then hard-packed gray clay. Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to say Missouri. Some parts of Missouri has soil like that. You know, where it's swampy, or it's just hard pack underneath, or you know. I was in Buffalo, Missouri for a little while, but I like the area, but probably not enough to move back there. I am I'm not really sure where we're going to go. Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky, Northern Georgia. Not real sure yet. It's kind of looking like maybe Tennessee or Kentucky, but we'll just have to wait and see. That's still 6 years down the road here, so about 40 minutes northeast of Springfield, maybe 30 minutes northeast of Springfield. So well, it might even be an hour, I guess. No, it's probably 45 minutes. Yeah, 45 minutes north of Springfield. So, no, they got some nice soil. In parts of it. Parts of it have some beautiful soil. Especially up that way. Up Buffalo and north of Buffalo, up that way, they do have some beautiful soil. Okay, yeah, up closer to Columbia. Okay. Yep, I drove through all up through that way. So you guys are a little further east. I was working for Boeing in St. Louis, and I drove from St. Louis to East Texas pretty much every weekend for I don't know how many months. And then moved the family up to Missouri, and then it was only about a 3-hour drive, so it made it a whole lot easier. But just south of the Iowa border, Mooresville, North Carolina. Yep. So yeah, I do know the area coming through there. There's actually a little town, you mentioned it earlier, there's actually a little town named Pocahontas coming through there. So, but yeah, I used to travel right through it on my way home to East Texas. Simple Life with Chris and Tara, good morning, how are you guys? Sorry, catching up on some comments here. Ivy's Forge says they're going to move to Northwest Arkansas. There you go. We've been looking, but like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. Not real sure where we're going to end up yet. Right now, may or may not finish out my career here and then move, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Life brings many changes, right? So it's all up to the big guy upstairs, and what he decides for me is where I go. So if he sees fit to send me somewhere else, I'm game. If he sees fit to keep me here, hey, it's all good. I'm still getting paid, so that's a good thing. So, and every day above ground is a good day. So, I just want to finish getting my garden in, get everything good to go. There are a lot of people moving into southeast Missouri and northeast Arkansas. A lot of people moving into southwest Missouri, and northern Arkansas as a whole. But the wife and I decided that the further away we can get from the tornadoes, the better, without actually moving to Montana or which was my original goal. So was Montana or Alaska, but we'll have to wait and see there. I am going to be 60 years old when I get to retire, so I'm not sure I want to work that hard. So, not sure I want to work that hard anymore, you know. But not that it wouldn't be fantastic. It's where I'd always wanted to go. But we'll have to wait and see what the future brings, right? So wait and see what the future brings. So, Full-Time Dream, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you guys. Woohoo! Lisa Lee gets to start planting today. There you go. Oh, hey, there you go. It's always good to have somebody there to teach. It's always fun. Exactly. I'm not a big fan of the one bonus part about tornadoes is, unlike California where they have earthquakes, you can see a tornado coming. So you can hide. When the earth moves beneath you, you can't hide. But I'm like I said, I'm a big fan of Eastern Tennessee and Eastern Kentucky. Possibly, I've also looked at a few properties in southwestern Virginia, but primarily I'm looking at Eastern Tennessee and Western North Carolina along the ridge line there. So I like the mountains. I'm trying to get somewhat back to them without and get someplace that has good grow weather and decent hunting, stuff like that. So exactly, Rachel. You can hear it and see it coming. So looking to be living off retirement hopefully in the next 5 years. Yeah, see, I got 11 years on you. So but the retirement's good, but I'm working as civil service. So once I have that knocked out, then I'll retire for good and call it good. Exactly, Emma. A basement is definitely on my must-have list. Partially for storage, partially for storm shelter. I am a big proponent of being prepared. So yeah, I was too, Ivy's Forge. I was at Norton Air Force Base in 1989. So yeah, I remember. We had a lot of quakes that year. So 89, 88, 89, and 90. We had a lot of quakes those 3 years. So, and you can't hide from them. So, oh yeah, know right where that's at too, the Farmington area. And you can, excuse me, you can prep for hurricanes too. You know, I mean, you know they're coming. It's not like you know, the 89 quake in the Bay Area. It was actually south of the Bay Area, but the one that collapsed the Bay Bridge. That one was that was a pretty bad one. We had the Loma Prieta quake, and we had some out of Morongo Valley. The Northridge quake was decent. We had some in the Morongo Valley down by in Southern California that were 6.8, 6.9, 7.1, and 7.2. So yes, Lisa Lee, I do have chamomile growing. I have German chamomile growing. So yeah, exactly. I was watching the baseball game too. Game 3, I think it was. So, but yeah, it was either 3. Yeah, pretty sure it was 3 or 6. But yeah. Okay. Lived in the bottom of the boot. Yep. yeah, I have decided that I have no desire to live someplace where the weather can do huge damage to me. I'd like to be someplace in the mountains. I'd like to live probably on a ridge or the side of a ridge so that I can build into the ridge. But like I said, we'll see what the good Lord has in store for us. So, but until then, we live each day as it comes, right? Oh yeah, see, Josh said they got a big storm coming tomorrow. They expecting a lot of wind and rain, huh, Josh? Or just wind? Right, Tennessee. I'm looking at, like I said before, eastern Tennessee, possibly southeastern Kentucky, but and western North Carolina. Those are my primary targets. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I have family out that way. My folks are currently in northern Georgia. But they bounce down to Florida a lot, and my 29-year-old daughter is in South Carolina right now, and my 31-year-old daughter is in Louisiana, northern Louisiana, and my son's in northern Louisiana. My 22-year-old daughter, well, soon to be, she's in southern Louisiana right now. So good part of our family is back that direction. So it's a lot different than this old California boy was used to. But, you know, like I said before, I grew up in the mountains, and I enjoyed it. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get back to. I don't like the flatland. I do not like wind. I'm not a big fan of the wind here. It blows all the time. It's rare that we don't have a breeze blowing. A breeze is okay, but we get 40, 50, 60 mile an hour winds out here all the time, and I don't like it. So stick me back in the mountains where the trees can block some of it. The ridges can block some of it, you know? Exactly. I'll be closer to HOA. Won't have to travel so far, you know? I heard the same thing, Emma. I heard the same thing, that prices were going up out there. But we'll have to wait and see. That's it. Get out of California. Freedom tastes good. Freedom away from a lot of craziness. So I honestly, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, the only way I would ever go back is if Northern California and Southern California actually split. Take from just south of Eureka, Arcata, all the way down through Fresno in a diagonal line, make all of everything below that line Southern California, everything else Northern California, and Northern California would be in good shape. So, but you know, that's where it is. That's what it does. So, Ivy's Forge, you have a good one. Have a safe one. And God bless y'all. Thank you for your service. And while we're on that subject, let's everyone remember what our servicemen and women fought for, bled for, died for. It was so that we can enjoy the good life that we do enjoy. So God bless all my brothers and sisters. Thank you for your service. And I'm going to cut out a little bit early today. I'm going to go watch Mama Z, see what she's got going this morning. And but I thank y'all. Thank you for stopping in this morning and seeing me. And thank you for listening to me ramble. Again, God bless all my brothers and sisters in the military, and those that have served, those that are serving, and those in the future that'll serve. So, with that, goodbye, YouTube world.